What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to address how we could see larger benefits because of what has actually happened over the past couple of weeks. We also could see larger benefits to Social Security recipients, so we got good news there, and we're getting more talks on more for the American people. So I want to break down what is currently going on. I want to break down where we're seeing some issues. A lot of it has to do with schools. Some has to do with the infrastructure bill that's coming up. But again, we will discuss that in today's, and you can follow me there. Here's where we're at. Lawmakers as of today, okay, they're still working with one another to try to get this $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill done. However, currently, according to reports, Democrats in the House are working with Democrats in the Senate to try to get them on board. Here's the problem. They are trying to get a bill done in the House that will pass through the Senate, but all senators are not on board. In addition to that, and again, this is why things are going to take a little bit longer, and this is why some lawmakers are a little hesitant, a little bit skeptical that we're going to get this bill done before the October 1st deadline. Now again, Nancy Pelosi, she wants to vote on that $1.2 trillion bill on September 27th, in 20 days. Well, in 20 days, chances are we're not going to have this bill ready. So there's a lot of issues there. Now, in addition to the House working on a bill and trying to get it accepted by the Senate before they even pass it, the problem that we're facing now is they also are going to President Biden to get his support on that bill as well. That's creating other issues as well because that's usually not the way it's done. Normally, the Senate or the House would pass the bill, and then it would be sent over to the other house to be voted on and passed there, and then it would go to President Biden or whatever president to be signed. The problem right now is they're trying to all get on board, support the bill in its infancy when it's not even written. It's creating major issues, and this is where Democrats say that they're on such a tight time frame right now that it could create issues in the next couple of weeks. And again, we will see what happens there, but they're trying to get one bill agreed on between the House, the Senate, and the president right now. And it's becoming pretty clear that this is something that might not be possible. So again, we will see what happens there, but there's a lot of things that are currently going on. One thing I can tell you is the main disagreements as of right now, there's a handful of disagreements that we know of. Okay, there's other things obviously behind the scenes that we're not privy to that information, but as we get that news and we get those updates, I promise I'll bring you those updates as soon as we can. But here's what we know. The disagreements as of right now, number one, immigration reform. Now, I'm not going to put these in order, okay? We don't know what the order is, but the first one is immigration reform. Progressives want to see immigration reform included into this budget reconciliation bill. The problem there is we've already heard from multiple senators, they're saying that this is not something that would pass because of the Byrd rule. Well, we'll see if progressives actually drop this from their 5 priorities, but as of right now, they're still pushing for it. We also know the corporate tax rate is one of the things that a lot of people are saying that is not going to be acceptable. Currently, President Biden wants a 28% corporate tax rate. We know Senator Joe Manchin has said a 25% max is where he is in support of, and currently the tax rate is only 21%. But economists say, and they are worried that increasing the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28% would effectively just push this increase in price off to the consumer. That's you and I. So things aren't looking great there as well either. We also know the $3.5 trillion price tag is another disagreement. Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema, they both oppose the size of this bill. However, and I said this yesterday, the White House is not worried about this because they say moderates will eventually get on board. Some expect the bill will end closer to that $3 trillion price tag. But even today, Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked if she is willing to go below the $3.5 trillion price tag, and she simply asked why. But she also stated the number is the number. Those were her words. The number is the number. They are trying to get to that $3.5 trillion price tag. Here's the issue there. They are putting in other pieces of legislation to push that price to $3.5 trillion. According to multiple reports over the past few weeks, we were seeing a bill that could potentially be closer to 3 to 3.2 because there wasn't really enough to push it to 3.5. But Democrats say they will get to 3.5. So we'll see what happens there. But as we get these reports of not just what's in the bill, but the final bill, again, I promise you, I will keep you updated on everything. We also know expanding Medicare. This is a big one for multiple reasons. Progressives want to see both the age and the benefits extended. Here's what they want. They want to see the age go from 65 down to 60. They also want to see Medicare include vision, dental, and hearing. Okay, those are four main priorities for progressives at this time. However, moderates say they need to pick one or the other. Pick either extending the benefits to dental, vision, and hearing, or including those that are between 60 and 65. And if you don't know, that would include about an additional 23 million Americans that are between the ages of 60 and 65 that would qualify for Medicare. So, but here's the thing that's really holding some people. Moderates are saying right now that we can't provide both of these things. We can't provide the age and we can't provide the extended benefits. It's one or the other. But progressives are saying if we let and we put in the legislation, in the verbiage, that if we let Medicare actually go out and negotiate the prices with manufacturers, that would be able to save them enough money they could pay for the additional 23 million Americans, and they can include vision, dental, and hearing. That's what we're hearing. So that's good news there, that they are coming up with a way to actually pay for this, and by going after the manufacturers and those companies, because as Americans, we're overpaying for medication. We're definitely overpaying a lot more than other countries. And those are just the things that are currently holding up the Democrats at this time. But there's other things that are going to pop up as well. Again, I will bring you that update as soon as we get it. But here's some of the things that right now, other pieces of legislation that Democrats are trying to get included. Obviously, we know stimulus checks are one of those things that now, after what's happened over the past couple of days, after what happened yesterday with the unemployment benefits expiring, what we're hearing now is that more lawmakers are pushing to see stimulus checks included because they say these are now survival checks. They're no longer stimulus checks. These are survival checks, and with the expiration of unemployment benefits and over 8 million people losing 100% of their income, this is something we need desperately right now. But again, we will see what happens. Okay, let me take that back. I know we will not see unemployment benefits get extended, but we could see a stimulus check or a survival check. But I will bring that update to you as soon as we know more. We also know that according to multiple reports, Senator Sherrod Brown, he wants to see, and I brought this up about a month ago, I believe, he wants to see the Supplemental Security Income Restoration Act pass as well in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. This is something that we did not know if this is going to be something that was pushed into the $3.5 trillion bill, but this is something that will be pushed into this bill. This is what he's trying to get pushed into it. He says that this is something that we need, and if you're not sure exactly what this is, anybody that's on Social Security, currently you get a maximum amount from SSI of $794 per month. That's the maximum amount. Okay, that maximum amount. That's the most you can get. Okay, as an individual, as somebody that's single. But this is still below the federal poverty line. So what the Social Security Income Restoration Act would allow or would do is actually increase this to have it equal to the federal poverty line, which is currently $1,073 for singles and $2,146 for couples that are married. So also, this bill would eliminate the policy that if a beneficiary, a Social Security beneficiary or recipient, is currently living with somebody else, doesn't matter if they're on Social Security or not, this would actually put them into a spot where they'd be considered getting in-kind support, which would essentially mean that the Social Security Administration would actually lower their benefits. Whether that's something that they should do or not, that's something that is currently in the bill. So this bill, this would actually eliminate that, meaning it doesn't matter if you live with somebody else, okay? You would still get your full benefits. So that's pretty good there. Now, this is one of those bills that many economists are saying is needed as elderly people and people on disability are struggling to pay for everyday things. And I've asked you guys this before, and I'll ask you guys again. What is one thing that you're seeing increase in price so much that you've stopped buying it? Is it gasoline? Are you're not going on trips? I can tell you right now, air travel, the prices are starting to drop. They're dropping significantly because people are not willing to travel right now. You know, food prices are going up. I've seen the portion sizes at some fast food restaurants and even restaurants. I went to Olive Garden and their portion sizes were a little bit smaller, but the prices were a little bit higher. It's interesting. So we'll see what happens there, but let me know, what is one thing that you are seeing the price increase so much you decided to stop buying it? Curious what you guys are thinking. Now, I know a lot of you guys are getting tired of hearing about unemployment benefits expiring, okay? But I want to bring this to you because I think this is extremely important. This is one piece of information I haven't brought up. And I want to bring this up because there's new reports that are coming out over the past 24 hours that are mentioning this, and I want to touch on this really quick. But according to recent reports, about 58% of unemployed income was received on time. That means 42% of unemployment income was not received in a timely manner. Now, millions of Americans are still waiting on weeks worth or even months worth of unemployment checks from the state, from their state. I know California was behind quite a bit. Colorado was behind. There's a lot of states that were behind. New York, New Jersey, they were really struggling there for a little while. But let me know if you are still waiting on either weeks worth or months worth of unemployment checks, because that's what we're hearing at this time. And this isn't just the state unemployment benefits. This includes that $300 per week boost. And according to experts, they are now saying that we could see a delay in people going back to work until after their unemployment benefits or unemployment income is completely dried up. But if there is a delay by 2, 3, 4 weeks or possibly months, some of these people are just going to wait for their unemployment checks to trickle in. And then in a couple months maybe, or in a few weeks, whenever their checks stop, that's when they're going to start looking for a job. So this could actually hurt us moving forward, but we will see what happens there. Also today, President Biden is now asking Congress to approve at least $24 billion in disaster relief and short-term funding in order to prevent the government from shutting down at the end of this month, which is in 24 days. We also know the administration is asking Congress for about $14 billion, which would go to natural disasters that occurred before Hurricane Ida. Okay, that's about $14 billion there. That includes fires and obviously any water damage as well, but just natural disasters. They're also including about $6.4 billion for the Afghan relocation, and they're anticipating another about $10 million will be approved for Hurricane Ida. Okay, so that's where we're at now, and again, it's right about $24 billion. Again, the final one was 10 million, not 10 billion. Okay, that would be approved for Hurricane Ida. So, in other news, we're also hearing that right now there's about 1,000 schools across the United States, a little bit more than 1,000, but 1,000 schools that have actually closed down. They've closed. School boards are actually saying that they're closing schools mainly due to situations, outbreaks in the schools. However, another reason why schools and even classrooms are closing down or temporarily suspending school for a short time is because they're seeing a bunch of absent students, teachers, and staff. So this unemployment issue, an employment issue, it's also translating over to schools as well. So that's turning into a major issue also. Some are saying that this will turn into a major issue as we get further and further into the winter months. Again, we're just starting into fall, but winter is going to be a very, very tough situation to be in, especially if we're seeing the Delta variant surging across the United States. And if this Mu variant is as bad and deadly as they are expecting, that's not going to be great news there either. So that's what we're hearing right now. But as always, as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Just want to thank